Hello guys, welcome to probably something different from what I've done so far. Just loading up random ramblings of
The
Minecraft
silence in the temple is
and
nearly perfect,
Terraria.
but the worshippers seem not to hear you enter.
Oh yes, of course. Well, so doing things a little differently today. I'll just be kind of playing around in here almost casually, kind of not really-ish. And I guess I'll talk about things. Right after I beat up this guy. That silly skull. Okay, so I guess not many of you actually know, but I do kind of get into philosophical stuff, and today I kind of want to talk about just the four elements in general. And, well, okay, so maybe playing through here isn't the best way to stay focused on that, because I am doing tasks. But, where should I start? Ah, yes. I think I should start with, perhaps a maybe common misconception with the four elements, because at least here in America, a lot of people do seem to believe that opposites and things like to oppose each other or be at war at each other. Or at the very least, that's a old European belief, is that things are just naturally at war at each other, which, I mean, I won't fault them for believing that. Won't fault anyone for believing that, but it's just not true. And so, I'll just go ahead and address that bit right now. If the four elements were, for whatever reason, to be at war with each other, first of all, fire would just not have a good day. Because, see, in their raw, natural forms, earth is a pile of rocks, water is water, air is air. The only thing fire could hope to do anything to is air, because, you know, earth and water are far more stable, and pretty much the other three elements would have no trouble just walking right over fire. So, yeah, and then it probably would come down to being like, basically, they're not meant to fight each other, okay? I mean, it would probably be somewhere kind of close-ish between water and earth, but because, you know, water doesn't actually get destroyed or whatever, it's more adaptable. It would probably win. But again, that's irrelevant because they really don't like to fight each other and are much better off working together. So, I guess that wasn't terribly relevant, because especially this day and age where a lot of people are just, well, people are wiser these days.
A pedestal dominates the center
And
of
this
this
nerd is probably going to distract me for a little bit, which is fine. Oh, this guy knows how to, no, it's this guy over here. Hang on a second, these guys are actually kind of stinging a little bit. There we go. Right.
As you finish
So,
reading
on
the
to
passage, the doors flanking the pedestal suddenly swing open. A wave of heat washes over you as you cross the threshold of this doorway.
Oh boy, he's gonna be talking over me, isn't he? Whatever. So, yeah, that's just getting that out of the way with the whole, you know, elements don't like to actually be at war with each other. next I want to kind of just talk about how the elements kind of work in terms of how they tend to surface people in the world. And I'm not gonna lie, I have also seen this occur with me as well as pretty much most people. A lot of earth. There is a lot of earth. And not like trees or crystals or anything. It's just tumbling rocks like a stone talus boss in Breath of the Wild. Not very elegant, just kind of crashing into everything. That's what I see most of the time in a lot of mostly random people that I don't actually know. And granted, that's probably just because, you know, I see what is happening at the moment, and, you know, playing competitive online games, you just see people tumbling around as rocks, crashing into everything, kind of, in a way. Sometimes you'll get, like, some water or something else. Usually it's like water excelling at something, or fire not being in its creative element because it's all competitive and destructive. But now, not to say that Earth is the main thing all the time, because again, I have been known to kind of exhibit that Earth tumbling rock thingy, because it's just kind of taught to us as a, you know, as part of our culture, is to just be big, bad, muscle, mean, not necessarily mean, but, you know, all brawn and no thought, no insight, no wisdom. It's part of the culture, so trying to actually be a genuine person is a struggle because of that. I myself am primarily water in terms of the four elements, although, you know, we all have all four in us. It's just
cooler with each step.
I'm not sure where I'm going with this. Maybe this wasn't. Whatever. This is an early video, so rambling's perfectly fine. Yes, self-aware content is the best. I guess I kind of wanted to talk about the elements because something a little more personal involving me and the elements. See, so a select few of you may or may not know that I kind of have a small hat/incomplete costume collection going on. It first started with a hat I got on my 10th birthday and has since been gradually growing. Recently, I discovered that the 3 sets I have actually correspond pretty well to 3 of the elements. That would be air, earth, and water. And due to recent things, I don't know what to call it, mostly because I'm paying attention to these guys. Due to recent developments, I suppose, I've been finding myself very greatly desiring a character that is very, yeah, these are character-specific sets, by the way, very much desiring a set for a character that is very closely tied to fire. Which kind of, you know, made me see, oh, wow, I've actually been kind of collecting. But, yeah. Hello, skeleton. You're gonna get lit up today. I don't actually need the shrines because it's running normal, so the damage is minimal. Pretty sure even on hard I'd be like kind of toast by now. Mostly because it's 2 whole levels above me right now. Anyways. So, I guess since I, for whatever reason, didn't have as much interesting stuff to talk about with the
Red saturates the hallway ahead.
world elements as I thought I did. Oh, thanks, dude. I didn't need Constitution anyways. And there's probably some staggering amount of damage. The, oh, 5 points. Yeah, okay. Oh, thanks. Oh, only restored 1. Are you for real? So personal elements. Yeah, I do have the strongest resonance with water. But the thing to know about me is that I like to kind of pair my elements together. And also my elemental view is...
The air is stale.
It makes sense, I would think.
Blood hangs heavy here.
But it doesn't perfectly align with the general consensus in most cultures. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, earth and water are feminine, and this and that, and... But I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see where you would, draw that conclusion, but for me personally, it's a bit different. Like, in my actual set, and with me personally in general, the characters I have for Earth and Wind, rather than Earth, rather than Wind and Fire, because yeah, it's like with traditional stuff, it's Wind and Fire are slightly more masculine, but for me, it's Wind and Earth. And then, of course, because I don't know. Basically, you know what? I'm at the end of the dungeon here, so
A lone statuesque figure stands in the center.
I'm rambling. Of course, I'm rambling. Why wouldn't I ramble like this? Oh, he hates light. Smite, tainted creature! He's not... No, he's just thinking. Okay. So... I guess, at this point, the most interesting thing I would have to talk about is, first of all, this vampire and this stuck wolf. Hang on. I think if I ever do this sort of thing again, I'm gonna just way turn down the game sounds on my end. Yeah, okay. The obvious strategy here is to just spam light fist. So that, he can't really hurt me too much, and then I just do all the damage to him. Whoosh. But did I not have... Oh, I was out of range. AKA wrong move. Goodbye, vampire.
Dozens of tiny bats that scatter and vanish from sight. You have won this battle.
Okay, so let's actually get some focus here on the topic in question. So, I'm talking about the 4 elements, and probably the most interesting bit I could really offer right now is how they apply to me, and I guess slightly even more so would be this incomplete, of course, costume/hat set. It always starts with the hats, mind you, but it's incomplete, just set of character costumes I have. I'll go ahead and say this now. 2 of the characters are Nintendo related, 2 of them are Sega related. main series. So, first character is actually quite an old favorite of mine, Miles Tails Prower. He's the first one I got a hat for him at the age of 10 on my 10th birthday even, and it actually still kind of fits now. Like, it doesn't fit to the degree it did back then, but I can still wear it comfortably. So, in a way, for me, it kind of activated some portion of wind and air inside of me. Come a few years later, I then actually get a Link cap, like, you know, from Legend of Zelda. So, a green pointed hat. That is kind of floppy. Granted, it was kind of a cheap make-ish, I guess. You kind of get that with a lot of costumes that you don't make yourself, but it's what I've got. And so that's Earth. Right off in the first like 2 or 3 or 4 years of me getting these costumes or whatever. Mind, these are not like full-blown cosplay costumes. These are at best just some stuff thrown together. But so yeah, in the first 2 to 4 years, I've already got my first 2 opposites set in order. The more... It's basically, so I got air, which is, you know, start off with air and wind and stuff, which is like freedom and intelligence, in a way. And then I got earth, which is stability and structure. Those are important because when you start working with water and fire, things actually kind of do get a bit crazy if you don't have some form of stability. Especially fire for some people, especially water for others. Of course, well, even with air it can be a bit crazy if you don't have earth, but, well, at least in air's case, it's not going to like suddenly blow up in your face unless you really, really try and force it to. And earth is just like... Earth is earth, really. So, yeah, I go and actually get air and earth. And then, come my sophomore year, which is like, you know, another... So, I think getting my Link cap is like... I know I had it by 8th grade. Which is like, you know, at most 4 years after getting the Tails hat. So, I guess that means like another, yeah, about another at least 2 years later, they both get basically upgraded in a sense, one after the other. First the Tails hat, where I actually get 2 actually pretty decent quality fake foxtails that are, you know, designed for actually wearing. You know, artificially created and stuff, so they aren't actually from real foxes. And then actually I think before first I got the actual Link outfit, so it's like I've got this white long sleeve shirt and a green shirt that goes over it that's kind of biggish, and a oversized belt because I asked my dad for a belt and he just pulled one out of his closet, and his waistline is like not quite double mine, but almost. Because, you know, he's a grown man in his 50s, and I'm still a scrawny little kid. That, yeah, that's all it is. Um, yeah, so one after another, I basically get the direct upgrades to Earth and then Air, after having gotten Air and Earth. And then come birthday on my junior year, 1 year later, Splatoon has finally come out, and guess what? I get a Inkling hat, specifically a blue Inkling girl hat, on my birthday. Because I was really into Splatoon when it first came out. And don't get me wrong, I still like it. It's just I'm not playing the first game as much anymore because I just kind of drifted away from that scene after the updates stopped coming out and people in the ranked battles, the interesting game mode, started just getting no life all over me. I'm like, okay, that's just rude. And then the second game is literally just because I don't have the Nintendo, Wi-Fi subscription thing for the Switch. I have the game, I have the Switch, I just don't have the subscription. I guess I'll have to talk to my dad about that at some point. Anyway, so, yeah, I think at this point, 15th birthday, no, 16th birthday, I get a blue Inkling girl hat, and then the following, Christmas, I get, I forget which one it's called, but it's the, it's that shirt from Splatoon that, the main box art Inkling girl wears. Just a plain white t-shirt with the, black Inkling language on it. Yeah, anyways. So I get that, and it's like, well, there's water, and there's this upgrade. Of course, I wasn't thinking that at the time, because I only kind of just now pieced together that these actually have a strong connection to, these elements. But then it's like, so, yeah, that happens, and come up to where we are now, with me running circles and stuff around House Fjarlin on Dungeons & Dragons Online. Well, okay, so between then and now, I of course got interested in other things, and for a time I got into Fairy Tail. I mean, I was in Fairy Tail, I was very fond of Fairy Tail in, my freshman year of high school. Because, it's all flashy and cool, and Natsu's badass and everything. So, not too long after getting my Inkling hat, I think this is actually my, either late junior year or early senior year, or somewhere in between. It's like I get into Natsu a lot, because, he's all fire, and I kind of feel like, I should probably have some fire in my life for a bit. Phase comes, the phase goes. Nothing else, really. And then I think the Natsu phase comes back again, actually last summer. Basically a summer right after my senior year, so woohoo. But then I was also into ice and lightning at the same time, so who cares? And then we actually fast forward a bit to now. So I think I mentioned at the start of the whole thing, not the video, but I think I mentioned already that I have 2 Sega characters and 2 Nintendo characters, or at least I will when this collection is complete. And so far, I already, given the 2 Nintendo characters, Link and Blue Inkling Girl. Well, okay, so Inkling's a bit more generic, than being like a just a player race more than a actual character. But you know, they have a Inkling Girl character. So, anyways, I got Link and the Inkling Girl for Nintendo, but only got Tails for Sega. And then I think I finally found my fire. And if you haven't guessed already from my DDO character's name already, Blaze the Cat. Blaze the Cat will be fire for me. I don't know how the costume for her will progress with me, other than, like with all the others, I start with the hat. But, yeah, I thought I was actually gonna give more general elemental insight than just, me giving storytelling and stuff, but, I guess this is something that might make you think, or at the very least, get you to know me a little more. Sorry that half the video is literally just me running around House Fjarlin doing nothing but telling stories and stuff. But, sometimes it's just nice to have a change of pace from the running around figuring things out, blowing bosses up. I mean, that's kind of fun sometimes, but and I do enjoy running around blowing bosses up. It's just I don't want that to be the one thing I do, because I also like thinking and solving puzzles and figuring out where I'm supposed to go next. The usual actual hero's journey, or just a journey in general. It doesn't have to be a hero's journey, although I do like it to be a hero's journey. Yeah. So, I guess this might have been a little bit better to do a script of I don't really know or care. It's kind of worked out, so, But, yeah, see you guys next time. Thanks and bye.